Welcome to Season 1, Episode 1 of Unscripted. I'm Marilyn Morales. We are here in New York City with my childhood friends, Debbie and Chef Julio Santana. This is the welcome back episode. I wanted to start my podcast right here in New York where my story began, and I couldn't think of anybody else I would rather start than with you guys.
Thank you.
So they have a tremendous story. And just so you know, this podcast is about ordinary people with extraordinary circumstances. And they have a wonderful story. So I want to start by asking, where did the idea come for starting a restaurant?
Wow. Well, I was living in Chicago, and I was going to Le Cordon Bleu. Actually, it was a little while after Mommy had passed, and I left my job, and I was like, I was in between being a theatrical makeup artist, remember, and chef. But I asked my sister. I called her, and I'm like, "What should I do?" And she was like, "Well, you've always cooked. You always cooked with Mommy." I was like, "That's true." So I signed up to Le Cordon Bleu in Chicago, and I finished the course there. And my final exam was build your own restaurant. So I called my sister again. Mm-hmm. Her and I, we always together. We always, we're very close. So I called her and I was like, I'm trying to come up with a name and I don't know. And she was like, well, it's going to be Mommy's Cooking. I was like, well, it is, it will be. She was like, well, she was born and raised in El Cantito, Cafe. In El Cantito de Manatí. And I was like, well, let's call it El Cantito Cafe. She was like, all right.
So El Cantito is the name of the place your mother was born?
Born and raised.
Mm-hmm. I had never heard of that.
Yeah. So it's in Manatí, but it's un barrio bien pequeño in Manatí called Cantito. Manatí.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah.
So this was soon after your mother had passed. Like how soon after?
It was like a couple of months in. I didn't go back to work. I had left my job, and I didn't go back to work. And it was like maybe 4 or 5 months in. I was like, well, I have to do something. And I was looking for a job in hospitality. I've always worked in hospitality, and I was like, I don't know what to do. So again, I was going back and forth, either theatrical makeup or being a chef. Right. Mm-hmm. And my sister was like, well, it makes sense.
So were you leaning more towards the chef?
I was leaning towards more the chef, not to learn how to cook, because Mommy had already taught me how to cook. I've been cooking with her since I was like 14, 15 years old.
Right.
So it came almost easy for me to cook. But I wanted to know how to manage a kitchen professionally, and what meats go with what vegetables.
Right.
And how to enhance my mom's cooking or her recipes. So that's mainly why I went, and also to bump up my resume. Managing a restaurant and being a chef is like, oh wow, it's two home runs. So I did that, and then like I said, El Cantito is literally my final exam in the Cordon Bleu. From the menu all the way to probably the design,
the aesthetics, everything.
The how we wanted, the vision. Everything. And my sister and I did it. It's so funny because
I did it together.
Yeah. So yes, right. He would call me on the phone and I'm like, do this, do that. The colors, burgundy and beige, everything. The vibe, right? Because we always spoke about, and this is way before this even came into existence or even thought of, right? So this is years of us always talking, always in the living room. He was my roommate when my daughter went to college. So in the living room in the evening, we would have he would come from work, I would come from work, glass of wine, and we would just talk. The day that we have a restaurant, and there's always one thing that stands out, and it's mentioned here at least twice a week or 3 times a week. And that is that we always said we want a restaurant that people feel like they in Abuela's living dining room eating Abuela's food. Mm-hmm. And we get that comment here at least, I would say probably more. Almost every day. Oh my God, I feel so welcome here. Oh my God, I feel like I'm in Mommy's house. Oh my God, I feel like I'm in Abuela's house. So that part, home. Right? Like we're home, right?
Like you're home.
But it's not only us. Obviously, we make people come in, and feel like they're at home. But when they taste the food, and a lot of people they ask and they say, "But why don't you have this and why don't you have pasta?" And I was like, "Well, my menu is what I ate for
growing up.
20 something years.
Yeah.
That's what I ate.
Mm-hmm.
Everything except for the ceviche.
We don't use that.
Yeah.
But it's really good.
Yeah.
So, but everything else is every menu, everything that's on, every item that I put on that menu is what I ate as a child.
And
my
how we
mom
ate it.
and how we ate it. My mom would come in. I mean, every day we would have something different. It was
Yep.
never rice and beans and chicken. It was some invention that she would do, or her own childhood.
Right? And I
So
think a
she's-
lot in Puerto Rico, they would take whatever was left over, right? And they had to create something new from that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
So that's why every day you had something different
Something new.
going on.
every
So,
day.
so while mom was alive, did she talk about having a restaurant?
Yeah.
Is that where it started to? Because I know you talk
All
about
the
you
time.
guys.
Full circle.
Yes, all the
So
time.
she put that little nugget of an idea
Yeah.
in you.
Mhm.
Well, she know. I mean, her and her brothers, like an uncle of mine, used to. The first time that my mom let me cook Thanksgiving dinner, I'm cooking the arroz con andule, because that's like, if you don't know, if you can't master arroz con andule, then
I finally think I've mastered it.
That's good.
that's
Getting
good.
close to
That's
it.
hard, 'cause that's
It
hard.
takes a while.
Especially,
Yeah.
especially when they have you make it on Thanksgiving. That's like,
Yeah.
Oh, she did it. She did it.
Oh, good
There
for
you
you.
go.
A lot of pressure.
So my uncle is looking at me, doing it and making it, and he looks over to my mom and says, "Él tiene el swing de los Meléndez." O sea, él sabe cocinar.
Mhm.
You know,
Right.
and that made me feel like good. I was like, oh wow, so I have something. My mom always says, tú lo puedes hacer, hazlo, mijo, que tú lo puedes hacer.
Right, right. It's an art form to that, right?
Yeah,
what,
yeah.
What are our mothers, and we talked about this when I was here the other
Mhm.
day, is our mothers always said that the reason their food tasted different was because what did they add to it? Love.
Love.
Yep.
Yep.
Right?
And that's what I do.
And we
here.
get that comment here too.
Yeah. But that's what I do here.
Yeah.
And
he
I
does.
have two sous chefs, and I told the sous chefs, if I can go into my line and I cannot eat what's on my line, we're not serving it.
Mm.
Period. There are times where guests have gotten so upset because the pernil is not done, or I can't sell you that pernil. I'm not gonna eat it. So I'm not
Right.
gonna have you eat it,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
so I can make a buck. No.
Right.
But
Yeah.
it's my reputation, it's my
Right.
mom's food,
Right.
and it's
We
if
have
my
a
sister
lot
can't
of
eat it,
respect.
yeah.
We have a lot of respect for my mom's food. The recipes are all her recipes. He might have tweaked here and there, but that goes all around, right? The restaurant, right? Because even when I'm bartending, and I just had this happen to me this week, where somebody said, "Oh, surprise me! I like sweet whatever," and I made her a drink, one of our top drinks, and she just she was like, "Ugh." And I said, "You don't like it? It's okay." She's like, "No, I'll drink it." And I said, "No." And I literally it was one of our top drinks. I took the drink away from her. She goes, no. I said, let me tell you something. I won't pay for something that I don't like. So I'm not expecting for my guests to pay for something. I want you to have a nice time sitting here at my bar and enjoy your drink, enjoy your conversation, not have a conversation, take a sip of your drink and you really don't like it.
Right.
I want you to have a good experience here. And she appreciated that. She was like, I really appreciate it. You could still charge me. I'm not going to charge you for that because I want you to have a good experience just with our food, just the same with our food.
Right.
When
Goes a
people
long
compliment,
Yeah,
people compliment our food, you're complimenting my mom. I just had a lady here a few weeks ago, first time, and when I went to the table, I told her, we have pateles, we have this. She was, oh my God, pateles, yo quiero eso, whatever. Long story short, fast forward, is a whole family of 7, they're about to leave, and the lady turns around from that door and comes to me and she says, ustedes hicieron un buen homenaje para su mamá. Con la comida que ustedes están. So that again brings us back to those times at the sofa where we said we want this to be for people to feel at home, and those comments and the tears that sometimes people shed here while eating their food, that's another thing that this week somebody made us cry because she said that the food tasted just like her mom that's no longer here. So that touches us.
That is something that is so important for us too.
Mhm.
My grandmother, her mother.
Yes.
Food is everything. I honestly have grown a love for cooking myself.
Yep.
Because it makes me feel connected to her. It makes me feel her.
Yep.
And, nothing can top my grandmother's cooking. So when when she's no longer here with us, and I miss it. So that's why I seek places like this where I can feel a little bit of her again. So I know that there's so many people that definitely appreciate that authenticity. that
Yeah.
guys
Thank
have
you.
here.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's not just about the food, right? When we talk about at home, when we're at home and we're sharing food with our families, it's the conversation that's happening.
Yep.
It's that we're going through our traumas, whatever
it
stressors
is,
that we're going through our lives, and we're
Mhm.
sharing that around a plate of food. Because
Yep.
as soon as you get home and you're upset with his mom, said, sit
Yeah.
down.
Mhm.
Food is comfort.
Yeah,
let me
it
give
is.
you something to eat.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
let me give you a cup of coffee.
Yeah,
Talk
yeah.
about it.
Con galletita, con,
Yeah.
con queso.
Cálmate que eso no te.
Yeah,
olvídate,
that's
no,
serious.
that's
Other thing
Spanish.
Yeah, the other thing that my brother does, and he did all along, pandemic, and he still does it, is he puts my mother's songs in the kitchen.
Yep, that's what I do.
And this is
Yes.
songs of, I don't even know how to pronounce the names of these, singers, right?
La
These are La Lupe,
La Lupe, yes.
Miguel.
José Blas,
Yes.
José Miguel
So
Blas.
he will put that in there, and he won't sing to it, or sometimes he does, but it's crazy how the energy here just changes with that music.
Absolutely.
That and my candle. Nobody could tell me anything about my little candle that I light every morning since we opened this place. And people have commented, oh my God, why you have that? No, that candle gets lit here every single morning.
Why do you do
I
that?
say a prayer. I say a prayer and I say, Mommy, Papi, send me your angels so that we can have a good day. And pandemic, it was, today we're going to make, and literally $200.
Yeah.
Today, the next day, we're going to make $300. We're going to light our candle. We're going to make $300. Times we made it, there was times when we surpassed it. But to me, that has been our savior.
Yeah.
Hands down.
So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the pandemic, right? Tell us the story of when you opened the restaurant, because I think that is the most impactful thing I have heard.
Yeah. So it all started May 2019. I was working from home. And my brother comes to me and says around 2-3 o'clock, he goes, hey, Deb, there's a place up for sale, a place where we could open up a restaurant nearby. And I said, oh, wow, the person's name, let's call the person. Fast forward, he calls the person up. And we come in here. We come in through that door. He comes in first. I come in behind him. And immediately I said, this is ours. To myself. I said, this is definitely ours.
I said the same thing. Yeah.
Right? So we go, they give us the tour, blah, blah, blah. And I said, yep, we're buying it. We bought it. We actually bought this restaurant from 2 Puerto Rican sisters.
Oh, wow.
They were supposed to open up a restaurant with the husband. Unfortunately, the husband passed and the sisters stood with the place and they couldn't handle it, right? And there were 2 Boricua sisters. And when we sat down, just like this, right here in the middle, right here in the middle, right here, there was no bar, round table. We sat down and they were like, all right, so what are you going to do here? And we're like, well, we want to open up a restaurant. What kind of restaurant? Puerto Rican restaurant. Puerto Rican. Are you guys Puerto Rican? Yes, brother, sister. They were like, brother, sister, we're sisters. They started crying. They cried immediately.
Wow.
They immediately cried and they were like, oh, they didn't say up is yours, but we saw it in their face. It took a couple of days. Okay, now fast forward. We said, oh, we're going to open up. We signed the lease. We got the lease, 10-year lease, this and that. We're going to open up in September. Well, to our surprise, the city of Yonkers didn't think so. Because we had to get permits, we had to get, contractors. It had to be from here, Westchester, this, that, the other. Fast forward 9 months later.
9 months
So
before you could open up the
before we
restaurant.
could open up the restaurant. That Friday before March 10th, so I'm assuming it's March 7th, right? I think it was March 7th or 8th. That was it. We were exhausted. We were like, oh my God, they keep turning us away. They keep saying, no, we're not passing. We're gonna pass. My brother made the list. He started buying everything. He put it in the shopping cart. We made the list for the liquor. We put it in the shopping cart, and he says the inspector's coming today, and we're gonna open up Tuesday. We go because Monday we already knew we were gonna close on Monday.
That was nerve-wracking.
It was because we were like this behind the inspector. We're like, this man has to pass us.
Yeah.
He passed us. We pressed the button to order the merchandise. Everything came in. Opened up Tuesday, grand opening, but we started hearing about the pandemic.
It was a buzz.
So there was a little buzz.
Yeah, a little
Now
buzz.
we're
Now we're in 2020. Now we're 9
March.
months. March 2020.
Of 2020. I think we all know, right?
Yeah.
Where we were at
Yes.
in March.
I
2020.
sure do.
Yeah.
So
It
we
was
started
March
hearing
10th, 2020.
Right.
Yeah.
March 10th.
March 10th. So we started hearing the buzz, and we already had everything lined. We had the grand opening, we had the soft opening, we had the family and friends already. But little by little, we started calling our family members because they were coming from all over the place. We had people coming from Colorado, Virginia, Pennsylvania, Puerto Rico. Like we had from everywhere they were coming. So little by little, we were like, no, guys, let's hold off. Let's see what happens because we heard about the ground zero here in New Rochelle. That's where it started. That's very close to us. Let's just wait a little
The
bit.
first cases of COVID.
Right.
Yeah.
It was in New Rochelle.
It was here, New Rochelle. That they
That's
started
right.
shutting us down.
That's right.
March 10th comes, happens to be the same exact day that I finished the project at my job. So my project was done. Adobe, here you go, take your package and goodbye, basically, right? While my brother was opening here. So I was literally on FaceTime with him while he was doing the grand opening. He opens the doors. This place got like this.
Packed.
Actually, that day it started raining.
And it wasn't supposed to rain.
And it wasn't supposed to rain.
And there was a Mets game.
And there was
Remember
a Mets
that?
game, yeah. And it was sunny outside. And
We
my
always
mom-
said, we always said it was my
my
dad
mom-
and my mom.
My mom always said, when it rains and it's shiny, it's good. It's good
That's
luck,
right.
papi.
That's right. My mother said
Yeah.
the same
Don't
thing.
worry.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's good luck.
So we took
Yeah.
it as that, right? And so we here, the 10th, we open, the 11th, we open, Wednesday, we open, Thursday, we open, Friday. This place is still packed. Bars packed. You could hear the noise, the music, everything, the clink, 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 everything. I was sitting in the back and I'm like, oh my God, this is really happening. It's really happening.
I never thought it would.
Yeah, we never thought it would.
It took a long time.
Right,
9
yeah.
months.
9 months.
Kitchen, I was
That's
like,
how you
am I
create
ever?
life in 9 months.
Oh yeah, that he used to wake up in
I used to-
sweats. Am I
yeah.
ever gonna be
Am
able
I
to
ever
cook?
going to be able to cook in that kitchen? I would walk into the kitchen.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm never going to be
Cook-
able to
yeah.
work in this kitchen. Like,
Wow.
I want to start cooking.
Yeah.
And that day, I was super excited.
Yeah.
I mean, I cooked everything. I cooked
Yeah,
I cooked
yeah.
everything.
We had family, we had friends and family here that week. Friday comes and it's starting to get serious. Like the news is like, yeah, we're gonna, you have to shut down, blah, 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 this and that. And we're like, no, that's 2 weeks, please. That's not gonna be anything, please. That Sunday, and we were just talking about this bar is full, we're doing shots. Friends of ours like, don't you worry about it, please. 2 weeks the most. How could they shut
2
us
weeks.
down? How could they shut New York down?
I think we all thought it was just going to be 2 weeks.
But
Except for people
no,
that went out to buy toilet paper, right?
Right.
They knew.
right? They knew something that we didn't know.
Remember, everyone went crazy.
They
because,
just
Everybody went crazy.
They knew it was okay.
No, for sure.
Toilet paper.
That Tuesday comes, the 15th, 5 days after we open, and it's empty here. That's when it hit us. We're like, yikes. We don't know what to do because the news is saying we're essential workers, but they're not describing exactly what essential workers are. So me and my brother's like, should we be open? Like, shouldn't we be closed? So my brother walks across the street to the restaurant, the Italian restaurant, and they said, no, we're essential. You can stay open. You just can't have anybody inside. But I'm saying to me, so he comes back. Literally, he's sitting at that end of the bar. I'm sitting at this end of the bar. And I say, yeah, but what do? We have no customers. No one knows we're even here.
Right.
The only people that know we're here are friends and family.
Been open
That's
for
it.
5 days.
We only were open for 5
That's
days. No advertising, no Grubhub, no Uber Eats, no DoorDash. We hadn't done that yet.
Oh my God.
So we look at each other. The phones aren't ringing. Nothing's ringing here. Nothing. We have put the chairs up. We put everything against the wall, and we look at each other and like, what do we do now?
Right.
And I say this all the time, and I say this to my brother all the time. I told my brother, I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm going to pedal, and we're going to pedal this boat until our hands, our elbows, our everything falls off. I don't care what it takes, but it took 9 months to open this place up. Them doors are not going to close.
That's right.
And that's when that candle came in every single morning. I said my prayer. We said our prayer. We did sage. We did our little sage in the restaurant. And we said our prayers to our parents. Send your angels, because that's all. At that point, that was our only hope.
So
was
faith.
our faith.
So faith is
Yep.
what maintains
Absolutely.
you throughout.
Yeah.
Yep.
Your faith in God.
And if people ask us, what would you do different?
Nothing.
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 We
Because
learned.
what we gonna do different? There was no
That's right.
script. There was nothing that we could go by. So what are we gonna do different?
We
Well,
literally learned how to survive in a pandemic, in something that we didn't know anything about. Nobody
Mhm.
knew what
Mhm.
a pandemic was. I didn't know what a
Right.
pandemic,
Right.
I knew what a pandemic was, but I didn't know how
We had
to
never
live
lived through one. Right.
through one.
Yeah, nobody has.
So-
How about that?
Right.
So the last one was 100 years ago. None of us
Right,
are alive.
right, and we only
Very
see
few
it in
people around
in
that
history
know
books.
us, yeah.
always
Some
try
people
to-
are alive.
I always try to, switch it up. And I told my sister at one point, months in, I'm like, well, we have something to
Talk about.
We
Yeah.
lived a pandemic.
Yeah.
And we opened up
You just
a
didn't
restaurant.
live. You survived
Survived
the
the
pandemic.
pandemic.
You opened up a business, you continue to have your business thrive. You had this resilience, which you're attributing to your faith.
Yep.
Right?
Absolutely.
Having faith plus everything your mother taught you.
Yep.
Right? Your mother taught you how to survive.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. My mom was a very strong woman.
And where did we grow up? Brooklyn. Right?
Yep.
Brooklyn is no joke.
It is.
For those of you that don't live in New York.
It really is, and especially back in the days, right?
Back in the day.
It was crazy. Yeah.
Survival skill. I talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
I said, what is resilience? And is it something that you're born with, or is it something that you develop? And I say it's both.
Yeah,
I say it's both.
It is both.
It's a passion.
Yeah.
I had a passion.
There you go.
Yep.
And a love to open up this restaurant.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And to cook every day.
Yep.
And my sister and I, every morning we would wake up. I would be here at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I would cook as if the pandemic
I would
never
even
existed.
sweep and mop.
Yeah.
No one was here.
Nobody was here.
I would sweep and mop. I would put my chairs down. I would put my little candle on all the tables. I would light the candles up. I would dim it.
What I did do
you were
was
visualizing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Visualizing.
Manifesting.
And manifesting. Right?
Manifesting a reality.
I even broke out my mom's calderos.
Oh,
I still cook with my mom's calderos.
Oh yeah.
So when COVID happened, obviously I don't need.
For those of you that don't speak
Right.
Spanish.
I had these huge pots and pans. I'm like, well, I'm not cooking for the masses anymore.
Right.
So I brought out my mom's pots and pans, but she would do her Thanksgiving and Christmas and holidays and her specials,
those bigger ones,
the bigger ones, and that's what I cook. And to this day, I haven't stopped. I still use the same one, even though I have to do it 2 or 3 times. But this is where I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Because that's what gave me that strength and that
It's a piece of her.
It was
passion for us to continue.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Now I know that you guys do a lot for the community as well. This is not just a restaurant. This is not just a way for you guys to make income. This is so much more than that. So share with us how you help the community, how you work with the community.
Well, I sit on the board for the LGBT community in LGBT board in Yonkers, and we do a lot for the community. I sit with that. I also belong to the Bar and Restaurant Association in New York with a good friend of mine, and she brought me in. But we also do right now we're working with the Red Cross, and we worked with them there was a fire out in the Bronx a few months ago where a lot of families were left without apartments and homeless. And so they needed, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And so we joined that program where I cooked for them. We also did the breast cancer.
Oh yes, we did. Yeah, we do it every year. We do that. That's like dear to us. Yeah. The breast cancer. It's a fundraising. We connect with. We partner with St. Joseph Medical Center. And what we do is we do a fundraising here. They set up outside, especially if it's nice weather, and it has been these past 2 years. They take appointments, right, for women and men that want to have their mammogram done, and then we donate a percentage of our sales during that time, so that these men and women could be taken to their appointments. These are people that can't afford, a car service. They can't. So we give a percentage.
So you're donating a percentage of your income for that particular day
for that
help those people to be able
to get to their appointments. Yes.
That's fantastic.
And why is that near and dear to you? You mentioned that.
Because my mom passed away of breast cancer 12 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a way to honor mom.
Yeah.
At the place
Absolutely.
that she inspired you.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Full circle.
She passed away 12 years ago. My father 9 of multiple myeloma. So cancer is it's a topic that's very touchy to us, right?
Yeah.
And it's sensitive to us.
That's right.
So yeah, that is the reason why we definitely, the minute that they said, partner up, we said, let's go for it. We also, during the pandemic, we connected with the high school here across the street, and we were giving out free lunches for the children. Because in our mind, even though my brother was cooking in the small pots, it was still a massive. And I'm going to go back a little bit to his studies, right? Because he mentioned that he went to Le Cordon Bleu, but it wasn't to learn how to cook. It was more to learn how to manage the kitchen.
Right.
And that's one of the things that saved us during pandemic, right? Because he was cooking, he knew to cook for massive amounts because massive amount of people were going to come here. We had to scale that down.
Yeah.
So we sat down and he immediately said, all right, Deb, this is what we're going to do. We have to cut this, that, and the other. Let's freeze this, that, and the other. Let's put this away. Let's look at the budget. Let's look at everything. And that's what helped us, right? Yeah. Go back to and be able to save a little bit of money.
Because what we had to do was, obviously, I instead of doing it for 50 people or for 100 people, I had to bring it down and cut down the menu so that it won't have so many items in it.
And so many options,
right?
So
because not everybody's going to order
with
seafood.
that one meat, and that I did 4 or 5 items with that one meat.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't go to waste.
Yeah.
So I had to use the strategy that I learned in Le Cordon Bleu to kind of like, pedal.
And then that, even though he cut down, there was still a lot of food left over, right? And that bothers me.
Yeah,
that's right.
And I know here in New York State, it's not allowed for us to give it to, homeless people or homeless shelter for health reasons.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. So we connected with, I connected with the school, and I told the school between 12 and 2, because I know that a lot of students and a lot of kids go to school to eat.
Yeah,
to have that breakfast and that lunch, because I know they don't have it at home, right? Yeah. So we would give it out. And there were a few families that came from downtown Yonkers. There was one particular lady that touched my heart because she wanted to show me all 4 of her children's IDs. And I said, there is no need for that. She was, my children are in the car. I don't want to take them out. I don't want them to get sick with COVID. Yeah. And I said, you don't need to do that. We're doing this out of the kindness of our hearts. I'm not going to ask you to show me proof. So yes, a few people did come by, and the kids from next door at 12 o'clock. He would go be like, Julio, it's lunchtime. He would be like, Julio, it's
better than
lunchtime.
Way better.
So it felt good. It felt good to So it felt good to do that. It felt good to even though it was a few people, at least we knew. And we also sponsored a family a whole weekend. So we connected with a guest of ours. She connected with us. She sponsored a family. So which meant that broke my heart. She from the church downtown Yonkers. Right. They had different families. It could be a family of 4. It could be a family of 8. She had a family of 8, and she was going to feed that family. To help us, she bought the food from us. Yeah. So she goes, I'm going to help you. I'll buy the food from you, but can you please deliver it to them? So when I went, it was, it was very unfortunate to see what I saw, right? I took the kids personally. I didn't want to take them candy. So we personally donated a cake for the kids, and she fed the family. So I immediately came back and I called her. I said, you need to connect us with a family. We need to feed a family. And we did that. The following week, they chose another family, and we sponsored that family to eat the whole weekend. Wow.
Listen, and the other day I saw that you guys were doing like a bingo thing. What was
that?
Yeah,
that was
that.
So that was the Thanksgiving dinner raffle.
So you guys didn't do that?
Yes, we did a raffle. But the touching part, and I was telling her about what touched me about this raffle. So this raffle, it was $5 a ticket, and you were able to get a Thanksgiving dinner, which meant arroz con gandule, a pernil or turkey, a salad of your choice, dozen pasteles, and coquito. Yeah. For $5, 1 ticket. 5 tickets for $20. Right. It fed 10 to 15 people. Like I said, 1 ticket, $5, 5 tickets, $20. Well, this touched me because people weren't buying for themselves. People said, I want to participate and I want to donate
a lot of people
my tickets. And a lot of people donated the 5 tickets of $20.
Yeah.
People from Puerto Rico DM'd me and said, I want to buy tickets and I want you to donate it. So we did have a family in mind. We did pick a person, that was here and that wanted their food, but we did get a family, and that family is still in my mind. So we're definitely going to do something for that family.
So it's like we're going to do this again.
Right. Yeah. Again, definitely.
You know what, this all stems from, my mom. My mom was very giving. Yeah. And this doesn't come up for just me and my sister. No, my mom was like that. She would have rather open up a can of Chef Boyardee for me and give the rice and beans to somebody that needed it.
Oh yeah.
We already.
Yeah.
Julio got your
Right.
You believe
She
that?
definitely did.
But she would rather do, or she'll make like arroz con huevo frito or
Yeah.
something, or something, or something along those lines to give the food to somebody else. So this doesn't just come from
I
we
think
were
we all
raised
come
like
from
that.
that. I
Yeah.
think,
Puerto
We were
Rican
raised
culture.
like that.
Puerto Rican
Oh, yeah.
culture is like that.
Ayúdate que,
And you
que-
cook.
que-
You're like, why do you cook so much, right? Why do you make
Uno
that?
nunca sabe.
Because you never know who's gonna stop by.
My
You never
mother
know.
used to
You know
do
who's
that.
in
Or
need.
she used to give away our food. She would call me at work and say, Debbie, yo cociné hoy, one of your favorites, blah, 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 blah. And I'd be like, oh my God, I'm so excited. I would get there and I'm like, but the pots are clean already. Ay, no, nena, si vino fulano y fulano con la nena y el nene tenían hambre, yo solo digo, porque ustedes no comen nada. What do you mean we don't eat?
You guys don't
So, but that was like he says, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. That was just the way she was. Like
Yeah.
she couldn't stand not being able to give something
Oh my
away.
God.
Yeah. She was, she
Grandma.
was very giving. She was very giving, and she was very nurturing, but she was also very proud of her food. That
Absolutely. And our mothers were friends.
Yes.
Right? Our mothers
Yeah.
were friends.
Yeah.
And they always had that thing. Their food is their signature. It's their calling card.
Mhm.
It's what people remember.
Comfort.
I
Yeah.
lost my mom in 2020, in March of 2020, which is why I know where I was, right? I was
Right.
with her. And everybody that spoke about her after she passed said, I remember this dish that your mom made for me.
Mhm.
Or when I visited that she made this. And she always said that she made it with love and that's why it tasted different.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
And everybody had a story associated with food with my mother.
Oh my
Same.
God.
Right? Same
Mhm.
thing.
Mhm.
Because it means so much more than that.
Oh yeah.
And it is made with love, and it is made
Yes.
with our passion, because I can give the recipe to my sous chefs, and they sometimes they'll cook if I'm too busy or
Yeah.
I don't get here on time, and it's just not the same.
It's
Mhm.
not. It
It's
depends
not
on who's making
it's
it.
not the same.
And remember,
And the
I
passion you
didn't
have for
measure.
cooking.
Passion, yeah.
There was no measuring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still do it like that. I mean, I give
Yeah.
them
I
a
cook with
measurement,
passion,
I give
but I
them
don't go to the
a
kitchen.
recipe,
I'm good.
but I don't. When I cook, I don't.
Yeah,
cook
you're
with-
eyeballing it, right? I think
Right, un poquito de esto, un poquito de
I
eso.
start tasting
Yeah.
it, and I'm like, está bien.
Está bien. That's how we learn. So here's a question that I'd like to finish off with. Everyone measures success differently. So I want each of you to answer for me. What does success mean to you? Do you find that you're successful just because you were able to honor your mom? Is success going to be measured by having more than one restaurant and spreading this love everywhere? What does success look like for you? I'll start with you.
Okay. Success is, for me, is being able to open up this restaurant, in the midst of a pandemic, and being able to get through to it, to get through the hard times, and success is being able to manage and having that passion and being able to get through to it,
Get through
to
the hard times.
through the hard times. That for me is success. And having a partner,
Yes.
because it's not only my sister, but she's my partner, she's my rock. She's, having that partnership and having that, I don't need to open up 5 restaurants to be successful. I'm successful within myself because I'm able to open up these doors every day and be able to honor my mom and to see the faces on different people, and for people to tell me thank you for bringing back my mom.
That's right.
Is success for me.
Mhm.
I'm good.
That's right. Amen.
I don't need 5, 10 restaurants. That when I go home, I'm like, oh my God, like,
You feel good.
Every
you
day
feel
you
good.
feel good
Mhm.
about what you do every day.
Yeah.
Every
And
day.
that is so important.
So that's success for me is being able to bring happiness to someone.
That's it.
You know?
Amen.
Yeah.
I love
Is that it? Is that what you would measure
Yeah.
success with? Because then we talked about
Yeah, because
tolerance,
success, I've never said, first of all, I don't like the word rich.
Mm-hmm.
That to me is non-existent. Success, I don't measure success with money. I feel successful when I go home with a full heart and a smile on my face, because that person that was, my brother cooks, so right, he he sees that reaction on people's face. I see it too. And I'm very proud of it, right? Because it's my mother's food and it's my brother cooking it. But me, I'm usually behind this bar. And for someone to tell me, Debbie, thank you for listening, or Debbie, I'm sorry for talking so much and telling you so much, that to me is success. And that happened this week. I may cry. I have a guest of mine. She's very dear to me, and she's going through, hardship with her mom, right? Her mom is in her 90s, 80s, 90s. She's maybe in hospice. I don't even know. But she came here this weekend and she goes, I had to get away. But, I feel bad. And I said, no, don't feel bad. Because I know what you're going through. I went through the same thing. Yeah. She goes, Debbie, I just feel like I wish I could do something. And I said, I know. We all wish we could do something, but we can't. So success for me is when that lady left and she went around the bar and she hugged me and she says, thank you for listening to me. I'm so sorry that I put all this on you. It's really nothing. Right. I don't there's people that say, oh, I go home and I go with other people's problems. Yeah. No, I go home and I go home happy that I was able to, listen to that person and that person. And this is multiple people. This is not just her. Yeah. We've had a few people that truly come to me and say, Debbie, thank you so much. So success for me is when I go home and I reflect on that. And I text my brother and I said, oh my God, did you see how that lady, what that lady said about eating your food? Did you listen to what I was talking to, such and such? Oh my God, I feel bad. But for some reason, I don't carry it with me. Right. I learned, I don't carry the burden because I want to be able to be there. Right. And I think if I carry the burden, I won't be able to be there because then I'll get sick. I won't be in the mood to listen to other people's stories. Right. Yeah. And I happily listen to your story. I will give you, and my brother knows I will give you all that advice in the world because I love to give advice. You could take it or not take it, but I'm going to give you that advice. And I'm going to tell you everything's going to be okay. And when I told that lady this week, everything's going to be okay, she just broke down in tears. She brought tears to my eyes. But that to me is success. Seeing the reaction on people's faces when people eat my brother's food, knowing that it's my mother's recipe, and that he might have tweaked it here and there, maybe some dishes he's tweaked, right? Because everybody has their own touch. Yeah. But to have that satisfaction of my brother telling me, oh my God, table number such and such, they're crying, because that is success.
Listen, this is a legacy. Yeah. Carry forward your mother's legacy. Yep. And I congratulate you both.
Thank you.
On this beautiful restaurant. We've eaten here. We love it here. We encourage anybody, if you're here in New York, in Yonkers, come down to El Cantito Cafe.
Thank you.
Cantito means what? A little piece. It's a little piece of heaven, a little piece of Puerto Rican heaven here.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Hi, everybody. My name is Gabrielle Morales, and I am a recruitment coordinator for Be The Match. My journey with Be The Match actually began when I was only 9 years old. At that point, my 7-month-old baby sister was diagnosed with an extremely rare form of leukemia. Through the Be The Match registry, we were able to find a matching donor for my sister. And although a few months later, we lost her, her cancer was cured. Our family is so thankful for the additional months that we had with my sister. And ever since then, I've made a promise to myself to dedicate my life to helping children just like Isabella and helping families like ours by continuing her legacy. Hence why I now work for Be The Match. I love what I do so much, and I'm able to spread awareness about the huge need for more donors on the registry, especially those of diverse backgrounds. There is currently a huge disparity within the registry for minority patients, and we need your help. It is so simple to save a life and to be put on the registry. You can visit izzy'slegacy.com or text Izzy's Legacy to the number 61474 to start the registration process to be on the Be The Match registry, to hopefully be a life-saving match for a searching patient in need.